Hello, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Freed, and today I have the pleasure of having a virtual cup of coffee with my client, Sean Nelson. Sean is Vice President of International HR at ACCO Brands, where he's been for the past 10 years. Prior to that, and that's where I first met him, was at SAP, where he was there, about almost 3 years, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm delighted that you're going to have this morning with me. And I am just very curious about something that I've never really discussed with you. And with your military background and an undergraduate degree in finance and banking, how did you ever end up in HR?
That's a great question. After serving 8 years in the military, I had just started my MBA at Rutgers. And I, with the intention of getting my MBA in finance and taking on Wall Street. It didn't take me very long, about a semester, to figure out that that wasn't where my passion was, that I was really interested in helping people become the best version of themselves, and found that human resources in particular matched my purpose with my passion.
I see. Okay. So, what specifically excites you about HR? You talked about your purpose and your passion. Give me a little deeper dive on that.
Sure. There's a number of different things that keep me excited in my job and in my profession. First is the changing nature of HR, that over time it has evolved and become a much more business-focused profession. The variety or the breadth of things that you can get involved with day to day. I find that as HR professionals, we're seen and need to be guardians of fair play, and we balance that line between the employee and the people aspects and the business aspects, and walking that line, very important, which I find challenging and exciting. And then lastly, the last few years I've been responsible for human resources internationally, so Europe and Asia and Australia and South America, and learning and working with other cultures and languages and challenges that come up day to day. It's all very exciting.
Well, that is, to have all that international experience is really something, really great opportunities. So, what other observations do you have about the changes that have been occurring in HR over the duration of your career that you felt you've had to really adapt to?
Yeah, I think it's been evolving for probably 4 or 5 decades. One of my professors from Rutgers, Dick Beatty, wrote an article, From Partners to Players, and he talks about the evolution of HR, from polite, the party people, to police, the administrative, people that just chase down, policies and those kinds of things, to business partners, and now to players, where we're seen as real business partners, real people that business leaders want to involve in decisions as they move forward. So that's a continuing theme, even more so today than ever. And then, how I learn and adapt, I follow the 70-20-10 model that comes out of the Center for Creative Leadership, where they ask most people, how did you get good at what you are good at today? And most people say 70% of what I learned on the job. 20% I learned through a coach or a mentor or other colleagues that taught me how to do what I do today. And only 10% really comes from either your university degree or classroom training. And so I continue to learn and adapt. The other thing is what I've noticed about the HR profession is the more things change, the more they stay the same. So you probably remember the article in 2005 that talks about why we hate HR. Or in 2015, Ram Charan wrote an article about let's blow up HR. So there's a constant discussion about the need for us to add value to the business. And so that continues to be a challenge and very exciting as well.
Of course. So you and I have been coaching now for a little over a year, and you said that you gain about 20% from your coaches and your mentors. So what have you gained as a result of our working together?
Yeah, I think there's a number of different things. First, I'd say is the more I learn about people and the human brain and the connections that people make, the more I realize I don't know. So that's number one. So number two is that Stephen Covey used to say, seek first to understand. And I think what you and I have covered is that you should seek first to connect. A real important activity for business people and all professionals and people should remember. Third is we covered Marshall Goldsmith's "What got you here won't get you there," and so realizing that there are areas of growth and development that I continue to have, like all people, having a coach to help you with those things is super important, and so I continue to learn and adapt in that way. And then lastly, I learned how cool you were and how great this experience has been, and I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that compliment. I have enjoyed our time together, and I want to thank you for spending the time with me this afternoon. Take care and have a happy new year, since today is January 2nd.
Thank you very much. Same to you.